Hey, what's going on? This is Abba Jeebs. I'm going to do kind of an intermediate kind of vibe here, ukulele lesson. We're going to do the song U2. Still haven't found what I'm looking for. In this example, I'm only going to sing the first verse into the first chorus. And the chords are fairly simple, actually. It's C, F, and G. But you're going to notice how I'm playing. It sounds like I'm either adding or taking away a note to make the chords sound a little more fuller, a little prettier, instead of its basic, chord structure. So I'm going to do the best I can to do this and sing. I'm doing it an octave lower because I can't sing as high as him. So let's try this. I have climbed highest mountains, I have run through these fields only to be with you, only to be with you. I have run, I have crawled, I have scaled these city walls, these city walls, only to be with you. But I still haven't found what I'm looking for. But I still haven't found what I'm looking for. So now let's go see what I added to those chords, those simple chords, to make them sound a little more cool. All right, let's do that. Okay, like I said at the beginning of the video, I was only going to do a little part of it because then it repeats itself, so you can, do the lyrics and thing on your own. But the chords were just C, F, and G. But what I did in order to make the chords sound a little more full, gave me some options to play with it. Still staying in the structure of the chord of C, let's start with that. Then what I did, if you notice, I took my first finger on the third string on the first fret and pressed. And that's called a suspended chord, so a C sus. And then I released it. So when I played that rhythm, I was going in and out of that. Okay, and so the next chord was an F, which is really cool because that finger, the pointer finger, is already ready to go for that right there, that string, that fret for the F, and you just take your middle finger and you're right here, and there's your F, right? That was that second chord in the verse. But what did I do to make that sound a little sounded like it had a different kind of voicing to it, which is really what I did, was I lifted up my middle finger, still keeping my first finger pressed, and then the F went from to it's a very unique sounding chord, kind of fluffy and pretty sounding. But once again, just like I was doing with the C, I was doing this, raising and putting down my finger for this F. Now this would have been called an F2. Kind of a nice sound, isn't that kind of pretty? It doesn't work with all the songs, but with this I decided to use that as my arrangement choice by doing this. And then I would go back to the C and adding that fourth, or the suspension. And then when it got to the place where I was going, but I still does it, when I went to the G, now here's a G. Now what I did before I made the change was I would lift my middle finger up, which would be a G2, and put it back down. with that G. That's your regular G chord. And I lifted up my middle finger, still keeping these two fingers down and making sure I'm hitting that open note. I didn't mute it, all 4 strings are being played. And that's how I got those chords, adding just a little bit and a very easy change to kind of fill them out. So practice that. It's not really easy if you're a beginner, you know, and also the strumming pattern that I was using was kind of a I wouldn't know how to it's kind of a shuck shuffle kind of a vibe here, but I'll do it real slow. Do you notice what my finger's doing? So, don't want to give you too much to bite on. But what's really cool about those chords is that you can actually have a really good, you know, you can have fun time. Just those 3 chords with those other changes, you could really have, you know, fun writing your own stuff. All right. So that was a little intermediate fun. I hope you got a little something out of it. Okay, aloha.